boys. Quickly just make sure the audio is good. Oh, everybody just hear me in a sec. Alright, boys. Quickly just make sure the audio is good. Alright, just give me a sec, boys. I'll be on in like a couple minutes. I'm just gonna mute myself. So just, yeah. around and around. Look at the IQ that I have. Just give me a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Yes, sir. Y'all know it. Yeah, know it. You already know. Hair looking kind of fire. We have the weekly hairline check. Look at the IQ that I have. I'm back. Let me quickly go over here. This. Alright, let's do this weekly hairline check. You already know. Oh man, look at that. Someone need a cut. Look at that shit. Someone need a cut. Oh man, I might have a little bald spot. Oh my god, we're not gonna talk about that. Hey man. Welcome everybody back to the podcast. You already know, weekly podcast. This is Overtaking the Move. You already know. We're about to talk about some NASCAR and some news. My mom's playing some music. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but like, hey man, let's look at the drip check. You see, I know y'all see the Adidas, man. Even though I don't really wear Adidas, I kind of wear Nike as you see. Once my Kyries, look at this shit. Oh, I already know. Kyrie 5 is on deck, please. I already know this shit. But let me go grab my water real quick. Look at it. I got my USA bottle. You already know. Let's read these stuff on the back. Let's see here. We got 20. I don't even know, what does the OZ mean on the bottle? Because like I'm so confused on it. What does it mean? Hold up. Yeah, what does it even mean, bro? And I could read the chat, so if you guys ever want to say something down there, I could read it from here. So pretty lit, pretty lit, pretty lit. We'll start getting some NASCAR stuff in a while, but like, how y'all niggas doing? How y'all boys doing? You already know. You already know. This is a pretty gloomy day in New York. Pretty gloomy day. It's pretty nice. You already know. Man, this lighting made me look white, bro. Like, man, I'm kind of dark skinned. Either way, let's get it. Let's go look at some NASCAR and F1 stuff. Hey, Niners all day just posted. That's my boy Oscar. Like that, real quick. You already know. You already know. Now we have a lot to cover. We have a lot to cover. Now, last time we covered until the Perez thing, the Alfa Romeo thing. We have a lot to talk about today. Holy shit, we actually have a lot to talk about. Alright. Hope the thing goes for like 30 minutes. We got a 40-minute podcast, but let's talk about the first thing. We got Andy Lally. He's going to make his return to NASCAR. I Rode America and the Daytona Road Course in the Xfinity Series. I saw it on his Twitter. I can't wait to see this guy back on the track. He's a road course guy, and you already know this road course specialist. He has experience at the Daytona Road Course, and no one else is going to have experience, so you already know. My boy Andy is about to cook up at the Daytona Road Course. You already know. Oh my god, I just shook my whole table. Bro, this camera quality is so bad. It's so bad. I need a cut. And, so yeah, I think he's going to be pretty good, and let's see, who is he replacing is my question. He's going to race for Our Motorsports, and he's going to be in the O2. Usually Brett Moffitt's in the O2, so I guess that's who he's replacing. And Joe Williams is going to be his crew chief, so pretty interesting. I think he'll be pretty good. It's just going to depend on the equipment. It's going to depend if he's going to perform well. Like, if this, it's just going to be interesting all around. And talks about the Daytona Road Course. It's just like, my pick for the road course for trucks. I don't remember trucks. Oh, why did I just do that? Oh, I forgot I gotta do this. My bad. We do be slacking. We good though. Save up the camera. Alright, we're good now. Alright, so yeah, that's gonna be pretty interesting. We move on to about the no practice for NASCAR and no practice for any of the races in NASCAR or qualifying. Again, like last week, I'm gonna say the same thing. It's come to week 2, and we've seen after a couple of races of new tracks and stuff like that. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I think that they should do practice if like it comes down to a track like the Daytona Road Course. It's a new track, nobody driven it, nobody. I mean, no one has Xfinity experience there or Cup or Trucks Xfinity experience there. The only guys that really do have experience are going to be guys who's raced there in other series like the Rolex and like sports car series, like Andy was in the sports car series and stuff like that. Also, AJ Allmendinger, he's done that track before, so it's really interesting to see. My favorite part of the Daytona Road Course is going to be the 3 and 4 because you see how because it's a rollable, so it's like the last parts of the road course are the regular Daytona oval. I think we're gonna see like a lot of tandem drafting through those like final corners to get like runs, get like huge runs on the guy in front of them. So it's gonna be really cool to see what happens in that sector of the track. But let's move on to the next thing. We're going to the Brian France news, which this post is really good actually. I almost got 130 likes on this post. Big games you already know. Either way, Brian France, in the article that I read, posted or said that he does not want to be a part of NASCAR anymore. So my thoughts about this is that, like, I don't think it really matters because he hasn't been a part of NASCAR for like the last 3 years. But I think that it is no, he's not been a part of NASCAR for the last year, my bad. But I think that it's a big thing for NASCAR because I mean I don't know. I think Jim France has done a really good job on like the racing because even though people may hate the package, and I know the package may seem terrible, but in my eyes, I think it is what they wanted. They brought closer racing, and it's coming. Closer racing is now here, but this news really matters if Brian France were to get an offer from NASCAR to have a job, would he take it? And this is a no for Brian France, which is I think it's a good thing for NASCAR. I think Jim France is gonna do really good. I think that his focus on like tracks and stuff like that, like Brian France never has really brought that into NASCAR. Like we've just gone to the same tracks every year, and it's like the only good thing this dude really brought. I don't really know. But like at the same time, I feel like Jim Franks has really had a good positive effect for NASCAR, as in like what you call it, as in like what tracks they want to go to, how they can make a profit, how views can go up. Like Jim Franks is considering midweek races, he's considering street courses. He knows the fans want to see road short tracks, so instead of doing an all-star race at like a speedway track, he literally did it at a short track because the fans wanted that. The only thing I didn't like about the all-star race again was the traction group. That shit was kind of ass. But let's move on to the next one. We move on to the Fine Family Racing. Could be interested in selling the team. It says in this that Bob Levine has already taken some bids for the team, has considered some bids, you already know, and Levine Family Racing could be selling. I think that it's not fair that Joe Gibbs. I feel like Joe Gibbs Racing should be at least trying to help them. Not only like I think Joe Gibbs Racing doesn't understand that like teams aren't gonna stay in the sport just because they have sponsorship. Sponsorship doesn't cover everything, especially in a team that has Christopher Bell. And Christopher Bell wants a good car every year, every week. You know what I'm saying? They want a good car for every week. And the thing about Christopher Bell, again, is that, like, he doesn't want to be in a bad car. And I feel like this could end up being oh, what's up, Charlie? We'll schedule you for next, like, somewhere in the future. Right now, like, in the future, I'll schedule you for you to be in the podcast. Sorry I didn't read your comment in time. But yeah, like, let me go back to my Instagram. I feel like, yeah, again, it says it right here that Bob Levine literally said that they're barely keeping the team the way it is. Like, the only way they can really save the team is if they take, like, a huge hit in performance and lower the car performance-wise. Because that car is, like, it went from, like, a top 20 car from last year to, like, a top 15 kind of car that can kind of consistently get in the top 15s if it has a good driver behind the wheel and the driver's doing everything perfectly. I think that Joe Gibbs Racing needs to kind of learn that, like, the same thing with Furniture Road. Like, they have the sponsorship, but the team just couldn't keep, the money up and keep the car that good. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, that it really does kind of hurt to see Levine Family Racing consider selling, and it's going to be interesting to see where Christopher Bell goes next year. I think he's going to go to the 20. Like, the thing is, this is Eric Jones this year. Like, if Eric Jones is not good this year, and if he doesn't win a race, or if he's just not performing at the way his teammates are going, like, you see how Kyle Busch isn't winning races, but he's consistently in the top 10. And Joe Gibbs knows. Eric Jones has had races where he's just wrecking out, and it's just, I don't really know what to say about Eric Jones. It's just going to be like, if he's not good this year, and if he doesn't show, but at the same time, most of the problems that he's had are not even his fault. Like, both Poconos. No. Pocono, he was having a good run, had to check up for Brad, and they got wrecked. Most of the year, most of the time, he's had, like, problems mechanically, and he's had problems getting involved in wrecks. But he's got to change that. Maybe be a little bit more cautious on the track from where he is. And I know that's hard to do, and it's hard to say that as, like, he's the driver, but, like, you kind of have to take that kind of limit. And last year, too, he made it to the playoffs. He had a win. He had 2 wins entering that year. No. He had a win. He won Darlington, right? And then the first round, he got fucked. Every round. Every race, he got fucked. So it was just like, I don't really know at this point. And now we move on to the Travis Pastrana situation with my boy Pastrana. He cooked up in trucks. He raced the Kansas truck race. We're about to get to the truck race in a little bit. As the truck race in a little bit, because it was nice to see him race, and he was in a winning truck. I don't think they gave him winning equipment, obviously. They probably just wanted him to have a pretty cool race, and it was nice to see him come back to NASCAR. He's a really cool guy. He does really dirt bike tricks and shit like that. I don't really know, but pretty cool to see him. Check the comments just in case there's anything. Either way, yeah, Travis. I hope to see him come back in the future again. Maybe I would like to see him race the Cup race. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty impossible for him to race the Cup race, but definitely would love to see him. I'm going to just take a fat sip out of my cup. Either way, move on to the next one. And we got Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, who won the Kansas race, and I'm not gonna lie, with everybody else, that Kansas race was not too good. It was alright. There was a lot of passing. There was a lot of weird kind of things going on in that race. The last laps were kind of just a pain because we all knew Kevin Harvick can just, I don't know why his car is just not able to run the high line like Denny Hamlin was able. And I think Kansas has never been a track for Kevin Harvick. It's just never been. Like, we won there last year, but he won there in overtime. It was just like, and he won because the bottom is the best lane in the first, like, 5 laps. The best lane is the bottom. And Kevin Harvick is really good at those type of tracks. Like Atlanta, the bottom is the best lane. That's why Kevin Harvick is so good there. But yeah, Denny Hamlin ended up taking the win. Nice to see him that, but it was pretty like bruh. It was pretty much a bruh moment. Brad Keselowski, I'm pretty sure, from what I recall, got to like second, and it was pretty interesting because he was catching for like a second, and then he just fell off, and it was just like bruh moment. I did get 50 likes on this post. Hey. Either way, move on to the next one, and this is an F1 news, and it was a big news with USA, Mexico, Canada, and Brazil, basically the whole North American side of the earth, like the whole like left side, basically will not have any races, which kind of sucks. And here's the crazy thing: USA actually, I read the next day, USA made like record sales in tickets, like the USA track. They broke record sales in tickets, but they can't run the race because of the COVID-19 situation, the pandemic. Hopefully, you guys are all doing good, whatever. And honestly, I'm gonna miss Brazil. I wanted to see Brazil on the schedule, and I actually read another article the day before after that the guys at Brazil, the Brazil racetrack owner is not happy with F1, and they think that they should be able to run a race without anything going on. But I don't think that the F1 should risk it. I think they should stay in Europe, keep everything over there until everything kind of eases up and the vaccine comes out and everything's good. Whatever. For Canada, Mexico, and USA, again, those tracks are pretty good on the schedule. They're going to definitely be missed. I mean, Canada's definitely a good one. I think everyone loves Canada. But besides that, big rip in the chat for Mexico, Canada, and Brazil, and USA. Ooh, I know y'all saw that. Ooh, I just hiccuped my life off. Well, I thought my room was kind of, my room is kind of, you got like a little bulb there, you got my shirt over there. Yeah. You got my mouse right here, the computer. But let's move on to the next one, and we have Austin Hill winning Kansas. I did not get to watch this race, but I just know Austin Hill like pulled away at the end of the race. I guess since it was a truck race, I'm gonna assume it was a good race. Actually, there was a lot of wrecks in the race. From what I saw at the beginning, there was like a lot of wrecks. Hold up. Oh yeah. So yeah, there was a lot of wrecks in that race, like a lot of wrecks, and I was not expecting it. Like I saw a wreck where like all the GMS trucks got involved. Brett Moffitt wrecked, Tyler Ankrum wrecked. Who else? Just it was just a shit show in like the middle of the race. It was like for I think that was either the first one. I don't remember which one it was. But pretty nice. Let's move on to the next thing on the list. Oh yeah, and this is Matt Crafton, who actually won the next truck race. Surprisingly, it was pretty crazy to see, and I'm happy for Matt Crafton. He's always good, and I think no, actually, I think the first one was not the wreck fest. I think the second one was the wreck fest. I'm not sure, but I'll find out soon. But we move on after the Matt Crafton winning situation. Happy for Matt Crafton. You already know. He's a goat. Didn't he win like 3 truck titles in a row? He's really good, and he's always loved those trucks. Goat. But we move on to the next one, and this is a pretty nice one for F1 situation because since there's a lot of weirdness going on with the schedule, a lot of people question how will F1 deal with this, and one of those questions is definitely with the Silverstone because Silverstone is, I believe, the home race for F1 itself, and Silverstone offered to host 12 races. 12 races, yes. 12 different races to F1 so they can fill up the whole schedule. If I'm F1, I'm not doing this. Okay, Silverstone is an okay track. It's a good track when it rains. That's really all it's good for. But I think that this is really nice that Silverstone's really trying to get this F1 season going on. And if the pandemic gets worse and they can't go anywhere else, I think this is a perfect situation for F1 actually in a way because now they know Silverstone's willing to host basically the whole fucking season. So they can still do F1. I think F1's in a really good kind of situation with Silverstone and all the other tracks. Also, more things. Emola's back on the schedule. There's a bunch of new tracks that F1 brought back. Magello's back officially. I forgot what the other ones are, but there's a lot more tracks. But we move on to the Brandon Jones taking the win number 2 on the season. And I was actually pretty surprised about this, and I enjoyed the race a lot. The Xfinity race was okay. We had a lot of passing, and I'm not gonna cap. I do like the Xfinity cars a lot more than the Cup cars. I feel like there's just a lot more passing. I just like the commentators were saying dirty air does not matter as much for the Xfinity cars because it's more high horsepower, less draft in a way. So, and those cars are loose. Like, did you see those guys? They were loose. But my thoughts on Brandon Jones winning, he kind of got bailed out. But hey, it's a win is a win is a win is a win. So he won. The way he won, he did kind of tap in Cindric up into the wall. But hey, we good. It don't matter. We good, cuz. We good. Again, shit happens. And, Brew, if you don't get your head ass. Yeah, he won in overtime. Either way, besides me talking about Brew, yeah, he won in overtime. And it was a pretty crazy race when it came to the end. Like, that battle between Cindric and Burton was really good. And then the caution came out for some guys spinning. And the points seemed very nice because I looked at Brandon Jones. I mean, not Brandon Jones, but the guy I was looking at the most, and I feel like nobody talks about him, is Brandon Brown. That man, bro, I swear, he was like that NASCAR Heat 4 AI that will always be in the way, like no matter what in the Xfinity series. Like, he was always in the way. But then now I'm looking at him, and now he's in the, he's in the playoffs, and he's in on points, not on a win, like any points. So it's gonna be very nice to see what he can do in the playoffs. See, maybe he'll get a better ride next season. The next thing is an interactive post. We have the first driver, second driver, and flyer post number 2. We'll talk about this one. We got Cole Custer, Tyler Reddick, and Christopher Bell. Now, so far into the season, the rookies have been pretty impressive. Now, Tyler Reddick obviously came out first, did really good. Then Cole Custer got that win. Then Christopher Bell started getting those top 10s. And I'm going to say this. If I'm gonna put these guys in their position, I'm gonna use by their trucks season and this season. I feel like Tyler Reddick should be my. I'm gonna put Tyler Reddick as obviously my first driver. He's in not the best equipment, and he's still out there getting top 10s, top 15s, and he's real. And you can see the difference between this season and last season to like when he came on the team. He's been obviously a positive influence for RCR. So, and I think if they keep on bringing him in every year, and they keep on improving the car every year, they will definitely get better. And I think that that team is eventually going to start consistently winning races in a couple of years. So, RCR on the rise. My second driver, this is a hard one between Christopher Bell and Cole Custer. Now, I want to put Christopher Bell as my second driver, but I feel like when I look at him in the truck series and then I look at him now, I feel like he just hasn't shown enough. You know? Like, I feel like Cole Custer, like, this is just going to come down to consistency. And this is why I'm going to put Cole Custer as my second driver. Because when Cole Custer gets used to the car, he shows consistency. And that's why he was so good in Xfinity. Not only did he have 7 wins, but he was consistently always in the top 10 every season. Every race he was there in the top 10. Christopher Bell in the Xfinity Series would one race win a race, and then the next race finish 20th and wreck the car. And in trucks, he wasn't that good. He didn't win the amount of races that Reddick had to win, or the amount of races that, I think Christopher Bell is an overall just good Xfinity driver. I think he just likes the Xfinity package a lot more than the Cup package. But I'm going to fire Christopher Bell in the situation with Cole Custer. No offense to any of them. And I'm going to keep Cole Custer as my second driver. Not only does Cole Custer have a win, but, again, he's shown that he's consistent. That's pretty good. Let's move on to the next one, and we have Dover. News about Dover is that they will not be hosting any dances for Dover, and that's pretty sad to those guys that always go out there. I have some friends that do go to that race every year, and I'm sad that they will not be able to go this year. But it's to keep everyone safe, whatever. It's going to be kind of awkward without the fans, but hey, man, you got to do what you got to do. But how do I feel about Dover? I feel like Dover's going to be like a boring race. Last year, the package was fucking literally terrible. If you were in the lead, you dominated. Like, Kyle Larson got bailed out a win because he had the lead. Like, as soon as Chris Barnes Jr. got in that clean air, I'm telling you, he started gaining like second lap. And it was just like a brawl. We move on to the next one, and this one's a very like talked about one and a very interesting one because the Ferrari chairman, chairman for Ferrari, obviously John Alclan, has said that he believes that Ferrari will not go back to winning until 2022 when all the new rules come. Now, the new rules for F1 is obviously there's going to be a budget cap, not only a budget cap, but the new car. I learned a lot about it today. Apparently, when you're behind somebody, right, in F1, the car behind would lose downforce by 60%. And that's a lot. That's a lot. With this new car that they're bringing in for 2022, this car lowers that number to about 10%. Basically, no dirty air. Dirty air will still obviously be there, but it will barely affect anybody. And they're going to keep on working on it. They're not done yet. They still have a lot to work on this car. And I bet by 2022, it's going to be down to 0%. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Ferrari comes back. I think Ferrari will end up winning a race because the Mercedes are good, but they're not perfect. They're not going to win every race. Eventually, there's going to be races where Ferrari wins. They're probably going to get bailed out by, like, I don't know, the Mercedes wrecked down. Just like last year's Hockenheim race. Remember, both of the Mercedes wrecked down? It was kind of like a bruh moment. But Ferrari just needs to accept that they are sucking right now and they need to work for the future. And I like the strategy they're taking, that they're not really worried about now. They've been kind of second place all these years. Now it's time to try to, focus on the future and be better than Mercedes when that new car comes out. But we move on to the next one, and this is the final thing we're going to talk about, and it is about Brad Doherty joining the NBC. I think this is going to be nice to see him in the commentary booth. And I wonder how they're going to fit this camera because, hold on, I need a big sip of my USA bottle. The man's 7 foot, and he played in the NBA. He played for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He was actually a first overall pick in the NBA. So, and he played some long time in the NBA, so it's going to be nice to see what he can do. He's also the co-owner for JTG Doherty Racing, obviously. It's going to be nice to see what he brings to the booth, if he's going to bring some excitement. And, yeah, I think the commentary does need some assistance. But that is all the news we're going to talk about for today. But we still have one more thing to do, and it's going to be, again, the hot take session. I'll give you guys some more hot takes that I'm going to bring up. And one of my hot takes is that, and if any of you guys want to say something in the chat for me to talk about, I'll definitely be there. Let's talk about it. Let's see. My hot take is that I think that Racing Point will win before Ferrari. And actually, this isn't really. Actually, hold up. I'm going to change that. I think that McLaren will win before Ferrari. Now, it's a pretty good hot take because it's just like, McLaren, Ferrari. Ferrari has struggled, but like they're not as worse as McLaren. I don't think so. But we don't really know. But at the moment, I'm gonna say this: I think McLaren will definitely win. Sainz is definitely a great driver, and Lando's gonna be a superstar in the future. So he's shown pace, he's shown smart, he's pretty smart. He's always in the points. It's gonna be nice to see what Lando can do. Yeah. Let's move on to my NASCAR hot take, and my hot take is that Brandon Brown will make the round of 8. Brandon Brown has just shown so much consistency, and I'm going to be happy to see if he can. As it's not confirmed that he's in the playoffs, but if he does make the playoffs, not only do I think he'll make the playoffs, but I think he'll also make it to the round of 8. For my trucks. Hot take. I think Matt Crafton will go back to back in the championship. I think he's going to win the championship again. No, actually, I think Austin Hill will win the championship. Actually, no. Crafton. I think Crafton, with his experience, last year the same thing happened. useless experience, and it was good when he needed to be. And he won the race. He won the championship with no win. It was pretty lit. If any of you guys have any questions on my season, because I got like 5 minutes. Have any questions on what I think about this or that? Also, we might my podcast news about my podcast. We might move on to not only doing F1 and NASCAR, but we might also do some NBA because I talk about the NBA. I know a lot about the NBA. Well, I don't know a lot much, but I like to talk about the NBA a lot. It's gonna be nice to see what's going on. But yeah. Uh, don't know what really to say. I guess again, if you guys have any questions, you guys have about 5 minutes to ask them. Guys, I gotta go. A 30-minute podcast, pretty good. And if you guys have anything you guys want to talk about, you can message me. And here's my Instagram. Thought from the bottom of the way. Imagine. Hold up. He likes to post. Give me a second. Here it is, boys. Right there. If you want to follow me, this is where I get all my news from. It's my own page, so I always upload the news there. Some pretty good NASCAR news. My one competitor is obviously NASCAR reporter. I'm trying to be like him one day. So give me a couple days and we'll be. I'm only 10 followers away from 300, so go follow me, give me a follow, and any follower is very appreciated. Um, yeah, quickly look back at the chat. Let me check how long this stream has been on for. It looks like about 33 minutes. That's how long I want it to be. I guess let's close out. So yeah, thanks for everyone for coming out. Who did come out to come see the podcast tonight, or today, my bad. I'm working currently on trying to get some special guests on the podcast because my Instagram is more clouded than my thing. So we might see some special guests in the future. Don't know when, but we will probably see some in the future. But anyway, let me quickly close out my podcast and thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.